Scott Pilgrim vs. the World is a film released in 2010 and directed by Edgar Wright. It's a film adaptation of the Scott Pilgrim graphic novel series and stars quite an all-star cast, with Michael Cera as Scott Pilgrim and Mary Elizabeth Winstead as Ramona Flowers. The film was reviewed rather well, but sadly, not many people saw it. Now, before we begin the analysis, let's go over a synopsis of the film, which opens as Scott Pilgrim tells his friends he is in a relationship with a Chinese high school girl named Knives Chow. The relationship doesn't seem to be very serious yet, but Scott seems genuinely happy. Things change, however, when he sees a mysterious girl in his dreams. After discovering that the girl in his dream is real and that her name is Ramona Flowers, he seeks her out and discovers that if they are going to be together, he must fight her 7 evil exes. Now, with all that out of the way, let's discuss how Scott Pilgrim vs. the World gives us excellent characterization and backstory to the main character through dialogue and character acting. What he needs to improve. One of the film's stylistic choices in terms of structure is that when Scott seemingly loses focus in his relationships, the pacing of the movie seems to pick up. The events of his days seemingly blend together, and the film shows this through its very artistic and seamless transitions between different scenes. This shows how little Scott is actually paying attention to the finer details of his life, which may lead one to believe that Scott may have some deeper issues. Scott seemingly becomes instantly infatuated with Ramona when he sees her in real life for the first time, and he begins to withdraw himself away from his girlfriend Knives just to get closer to Ramona. Scott has multiple dream sequences in the film, which all seem to draw him closer to his new crush, giving us an idea of not only who Scott is really thinking about, but it's also alluding to the idea that she really is the girl of his dreams. The idea of him finding the love of his life really is a nice thought, but what about the girls that he left behind? Scott appears to be cool and collected around people that he isn't actually seeking a relationship with in the film, such as Knives and Kim, even during scenes in which they definitely have bad blood. Scott dumped Kim whenever they dated in high school and seemingly broke her heart. They can stand to be around each other due to having mutual friends, but the things she says to Scott convey some very deep animosity.
Where's Knives? Not coming in tonight?
No, we broke up. Hey, check it out. I learned the bass line from Final Fantasy II.
Scott, you are the salt of the earth.
Oh, thanks.
I meant scum of the earth.
Thanks.
You broke up with Knives?
Yeah, but don't worry. Maybe soon you'll meet my new girlfriend.
Scott and Kim have even joined a band together since their breakup and still haven't reconciled until the end of the film. This gives some merit to the things that Julie has said about Scott, as he seems so socially uninvolved that he doesn't mind leaving things with people on bad terms.
Scott, we all know you're a total lady killer wannabe jerky jerk.
It's completely untrue.
That time with Lisa?
That was a misunderstanding.
That time with Holly?
That wasn't what it looked like.
That time you dumped Kim?
Okay, me and Kim are all good now, all right?
Whatever. Ramona's out of your league. Let's just leave it at that. So, what can I get you?
Is there anywhere you don't work?
They're called jobs, something a ball like you wouldn't know anything about. And by the way, I can't believe you asked Ramona out after I specifically told you not to do that.
How are you doing that with your mouth?
Never mind how I'm doing it. What do you have to say for yourself?
Can I get a caramel macchiato?
You know what? Maybe it's high time you took a look in the mirror before you wreak havoc on another girl.
Me? Wreak havoc?
And speaking of which, I hear the girl that kicked your heart in the ass is walking the streets of Toronto again.
So I can just get my coffee over here?
And it's the same situation for Knives, who actively tried to speak to Scott after their breakup, and he just ignored her entirely.
Hello? Oh, hey, Knives. What's that? You're outside?
Is Scott here?
You know what? He just left.
Really?
Yeah.
Now this all sounds pretty bad. However, Scott doesn't seem entirely unredeemable. He just has some undeniable personal issues to work through. Through a large portion of the movie, Scott seemingly only cares about his relationship with whoever he is currently dating, going as far as to skip out on band practice to go on a date with them, or even to say no to Gideon's offer to play in the Chaos Theater out of his own pride. But Scott definitely isn't dating women for sex, as he's perfectly okay with not having sex with Ramona on their first date, and was content without even kissing Knives. And he says himself that he doesn't have some twisted ulterior motive. He just seems to have such low self-esteem that he bases his self-worth on how highly his romantic partner thinks of him. This is a problem that may be resolved by the end of the film, as after the confrontation with Gideon, he faces Nega Scott, a physical incarnation of the evil parts of himself, and befriends him in a comedic manner.
Solo round.
Yeah, they have this incredible French toast with like bananas on it, and you get bacon on the side. I'm liking that. Yeah. Oh, let's do it next week. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, all right, be good. Yeah. Hey.
What happened?
Oh, nothing. We just shot the shit. He's just a really nice guy. We're gonna get brunch next week.
This conveys that he has come to terms with the bad parts of himself, but is ready to change. Scott is portrayed by Michael Cera as a very awkward but genuine protagonist when it comes to his relationships, at least when they're doing well. He doesn't mind Ramona's flaws or her past until the fatigue of the exes kick in after the fight with Roxy. He clearly got very attached to Ramona over the course of the film, still insisting upon defeating the Karianagi twins even though him and Ramona were both upset towards each other. This shows that Scott does have the courage to fight for someone that he cares about even if they don't seem to care about him. However, this does also show one of his weaknesses, his pride, which is only second to his biggest flaw being his self-esteem issues. Scott clearly has his own issues with self-image, and it's shown very blatantly when he talks about his breakup with Envy and how he blames the horrible haircut he got beforehand. He frames the situation as if someone has to be at fault, and that it must have been him, or more specifically, how he looked.
Your hair's pretty shaggy.
Oh God, I need a haircut, don't I? What? No, sorry, I got a bad haircut right before me and my big ex broke up, but that was so long ago now I can barely remember.
Scott is acutely aware that his last salon haircut took place exactly 431 days ago, 3 hours before his big breakup. He's been cutting his own hair ever since.
So long ago.
Sounds like a bad time.
Bad time? Well, not really.
It was.
It was a mutual thing.
It wasn't.
I mean, she told me it was mutual.
She dumped him. It was brutal.
And the people he surrounds himself with don't help much either, as he receives insults regularly from both friends and foes alike, which by the end of the film seems to not bother him very much. But one insult that stood out in particular is towards the end of the film. After Scott defeats the twins, he discovers that Ramona is leaving him for Gideon, and when Scott returns home, Wallace tells him that Ramona probably left him because Gideon is better than him, mirroring Scott's own feelings of inadequacy in comparison to Ramona's evil exes.
Maybe you can move in with Ramona.
She's with Gideon.
Oh, man. It's probably just because he's better than you.
Mm.
Either way, this fight is over.
This is supported by the fact that Envy, Scott's big ex before even Knives, left him for the vegan rock star Todd Ingram, and the varied identities of the League, in tandem with Ramona's impulsive personality, both create a feeling of distress for Scott, which is seen most transparently with the scene in which Scott is preparing dinner for him and Ramona while talking to Wallace.
She changed her hair.
So it looks nice, Blue.
Yeah, I know, but she did it without even making a big deal of it or anything. She's fickle, impulsive, spontaneous. God, what am I gonna do?
Can't believe you're worried about me getting up the place.
So,
How's dinner coming along?
yeah, good.
Okay, well, I'm gonna leave you lovebirds to it. I am heading up to Casa Loma to stock my hetero crush.
Don't go.
Will you man the hell up? You can get the second and a half base tonight.
You think so?
Well, if you strike out in the next hour, come find me at the castle.
If I strike out?
Okay, win. See you in 60.
In conclusion, the film does an excellent job at giving a character depth that at first glance is just a generic nerd. The excellent writing and Edgar Wright's unique directing, being aided by Michael Cera's awkward performance, creates a character that seemingly shows more depth the more you analyze the film. Cera's version of Scott is quite a bit different from the novel version, and as a fan of both the movie and the original material, I welcome a more realistically awkward and nerdy Scott. Wright's directing gives the film a unique twist on the source material as not to seem like a copy and paste, but still adheres close enough to be enjoyed by old fans as well. And that is how Scott Pilgrim vs. the World gives us excellent characterization and backstory to the main character through dialogue and character acting.